Welcome to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we discuss the movie Heartbreak Ridge 1 minute at a time. I am your co host, Brian Lockhart.
And I am Jack Perry.
Together, we are discussing minute number 7, Heartbreak Ridge. The minute begins with the guy from Swamp Thing pulling a knife, and it ends with Clint Eastwood getting his day in court. When we last left these guys, Clint Eastwood advised, Swamp Thing guy to stay down. We find out that he didn't.
I'm disappointed. I thought he was going to, stand up and apologize.
He did seem like a sensible guy.
Yeah.
I guess we found out that we were wrong. Apparently, we were a poor judge of character.
So I'm just kind of curious because I thought that when you went into lockup, they take all your stuff. Where did he have that knife?
Yeah, I was wondering that too because this is not a prison per se. This is like a holding tank.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like something like you got a whole network of people getting contraband sneaking it into a jail. This is just the guy that was basically thrown into the drunk take while he's waiting trial or
Yeah.
waiting to be, not
Arraigned.
trial, arraigned, exactly. So who was derelict in their duty of checking this dude for a knife?
Yeah. Or maybe they weren't derelict at all. He just had it really well hidden.
It's possible. So, all right, so we're going to get this out of the way real quick. When he jumps up with the knife, he threatens Clint Eastwood with a word that is a slur. And of course, this is a movie in the 80s by a guy in prison. It is not something that is very common now. It's not something you probably even see if this movie was made today, but it was made in the 80s and the guy's a scumbag. So, of course, he's going to use that language.
Right.
It's right there in the first few minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It's the first line of this minute, and obviously that word will come up again in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, let's skip over that. Let's get past this, and because it's not something we use, but this guy did, and after he says that, and he's got the knife and he's got it ready, poised, ready to use. One of the biker guys goes, he'll kill him. He'll kill him.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was funny that nobody's helping, everybody's watching, but he just, we got the peanut gallery. You heard somebody early in the previous minute go, "Ooh, shit," and now he's like, "Oh, kill him,"
Yeah.
So what's great about this is, of course, Clint Eastwood was walking away when he pulled the knife out too, and re-challenged him. He was done. He was going to sit back down. Fight was over.
Yeah, he wasn't going to hurt anybody. He was going to go sit there and finish telling his story and chewing on a cigar.
Right. So what's great about that is, he uses a couple moves. He blocks the knife. He hits him in the face. He, knocks the knife out of his hand. And this is where he really slams his face into the bars of the jails, and that's what probably did him in,
Yeah.
like he's done now.
Yeah.
But the best part about that is he just beat him up twice, one of them with a knife where he really could have done some damage if he got hit.
Yeah.
And he just sits back down, takes his stogie back from the kid, and just goes right back to his story.
Yeah, clearly not a new event for this guy.
Not even phased because this is, he's seen some stuff and he doesn't care. He's a tough guy. And I love it too. He's like, and then there was this dusky gal in Bangkok, a real crossway breezer, I swear.
Yeah, we can only imagine what he means by that.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. What did you think he meant by crossway breezer?
I'm just going with she gave good blowjobs.
Okay. So he says, dusky gal in Bangkok, a real crossway breezer. And he used to take crossway breezer and Bangkok. And I'm thinking crossway. I'm thinking
cross dress.
So now I'm thinking, did Clint Eastwood go, while in Bangkok in Thailand, did he come across? Yeah, did he go to a lady of the night? Because as he stated, he's known to pay for it.
Yeah.
Did he did he get a surprise?
You know what? That's a very good train of thought, and he kind of makes sense under that context because Tom Highway doesn't seem to be the one that would engage in,
Right. So the way I took it, it was not. He did not seek that out. I think, he took a lady of the night. Turned out it was not a lady.
The old bait and switch.
That's what I thought he always meant by that. And I
Yeah.
just, of course, this is me being, young, not understanding, and also being old and not understanding. Because I still thought that. I'm like, that's a weird for somebody who's such a man's man,
Yeah.
in this movie and all that. And of course, there's some other, this movie does get accused of being homophobic, and I don't really want to get into all that because I always
Yeah.
want to talk about the movie. But
Yeah.
that being said, with some of those undertones, it made me wonder, like, why would he tell that story then if that's what really happened, other than for a laugh? So
Yeah.
I had to look it up, and I'm like, okay, what does a crossway breezer mean? And I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and it says it's the space between a thin woman's leg. A gap remains at her crotch when her legs are closed, like crossway, like air can breathe, go between her legs, basically at her
Right.
crotch.
Right. The gap.
That's probably what he meant.
She what, like, pretty loose?
Well, that or just I guess, yeah, maybe. You know, so a leg gap. That's probably what he meant. I'm thinking I'm way off base.
Yeah.
But one of the other definitions is a condition where nasal passages have an abnormal large opening to the esophagus. Now, I doubt he meant that. But on Urban Dictionary, it said hashtag deep throat, hashtag BJ under that
Nah.
passage. So
Okay.
again, maybe that's what he meant. And that's you mentioned blowjob.
She could breathe well, that's
Yeah, so I think you were I think you're closer. Your definition, your interpretation of that line is probably a lot more what he meant
yeah.
than definitely what I took from it, because I'm out in left field now.
Yeah. Confused, scratching your head.
Right. So then, of course, I had to look up what it meant by dusky. And again, according to Urban Dictionary, that is a disgusting, slutty hood rat of
Mm.
mystery.
Ah,
So you put that together, you put it was probably basically what he's probably saying to you. She was a nasty prostitute that gave good BJs.
yeah. Yeah.
That's and that goes in line with the earlier stories that he was telling in the previous minute about going to the boom boom garbage dumps and going and paying for it in Danang. So
Yep.
I'm 40 years old, and I finally,
Finally dissected the line of that movie.
yeah, I was fine just watching it before, but now I think we've figured it out. This is
Yeah.
important things we have to get to the bottom of.
Oh yeah, man. We've got 40 years of this movie to go back, and we're actually just now kind of peeling it apart.
Right. So so after he deals with that, it cuts to the courtroom, and it shows Sergeant Major walking up to the I guess a trial or hearing, I guess,
Right.
inside a courtroom.
Yeah.
I tried to look up that Sergeant Major, and his name is John H. Brewer, and this is his only credit.
Oh, he was a real Marine?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing he probably was.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I couldn't find any biography on him, information, because I was wondering where do they get the military consultant,
Yeah.
for a film, and I was like, well, maybe that, maybe there's a line, not a line. He doesn't even say anything. He just
He
stands
does.
there.
Yeah, he just stands there, which is, well, I mean, he looks like a Marine.
Yeah, it makes sense that the sergeant major would show up. We don't know this yet, but Tom Highway is a gunnery sergeant,
Yep.
which brings me to the fact that the judge calls him sergeant. He calls him Sergeant Highway,
Yeah.
which again, a judge may not know. And
No.
he's not wrong, because
No.
it is a gunnery sergeant, but that is something the Army does more, just calling everybody sergeants regardless of what kind of sergeant. But in the Marine Corps, you call them by the proper rank.
Yeah, the full rank. They earned every piece of it. Yeah, and that again too, I think this is something that Gunny Highway has probably been, and he knows better than to correct the judge.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he knows to just he stands up there. He's not at attention. He's at ease.
Yeah.
But he's standing there. He's standing in front of the man, and he's getting his list of charges from this judge's name, Judge Zane. I couldn't really find much about him on IMDb, but his charges are drunk and disorderly, fighting in a public establishment, urinating on a police vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Urinating.
I love when he gets to it. He's like confused that he's like he's questioningly stating it.
Yeah. like
You
like
really did that, huh?
yeah. Yeah, which that's awesome because you see him reading off the charges and Gunny Highway's like looking around, not even really ashamed, just like it's just a weird look. It's just, it's it's like yeah, yep, I did all those things.
Yeah, he does. He kind of looks over his shoulder. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
He's standing at ease. He's in front of the judge. He's got his green military undershirt that you would wear under, your camis.
Yep.
He's unsat. This is unfortunate for a gunnery sergeant. He's not wearing a belt, and he has belt loops.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm surprised they let him out.
Yeah.
On Libo.
Yeah. I wonder if he's got his combat boots on underneath his jeans.
Oh, right, probably.
Yeah, boot.
Yeah, exactly. Gunny boot.
I noticed too. Did you notice in the scene where when he goes back and he grabs a cigar? I know we're kind of jumping back and forth, but right before he's got that scar on his neck, and I'm trying to remember as many times as I've seen this movie, any Clint Eastwood movies, I don't remember being a scar on his neck. So is that just makeup prosthetic for this film to show the combat wounds, or does he actually have a scar on his neck?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Huh.
It's one of those things again. Like, I think we'd know, but I really don't. I mean, it would make sense if they did it for the movie to give him his character a little bit more.
Yeah, combat.
Shot. Yeah, exactly. He's rough and gruff. He's
Yeah,
got the Purple Heart. He's been in every conflict from the Korean War up till present day.
right.
So it would make sense, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I can. You could see it clear as day
Yeah.
when he takes that cigar. It's real prominent, but it's probably from the movie Hang 'Em High.
That.
Because, it's
Do you-
it's a continuity between those movies.
yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, and anybody that wants to go back and look, and I thought it was pretty interesting too that the bikers in the jail cell when they're all grouped up together, one of them's got a pretty uh, we'll say an obnoxious patch on his vest. The one that's did you see that?
Yeah, well, it's funny because the one guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah, the one that's wearing the train engineer hat. The guy
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
running a choo choo.
At first, when I saw that, I thought his hat was like I thought it was like one of those iron crosses, like from Germany, which would
Yeah,
make sense. But you're right. Now that I
it's
see it,
it is not. It's also from Germany.
oh yeah, that patch on his, basically over his heart on his left, breast.
Yeah,
That is not a that is
not an
not a
iron
nice
cross.
patch. Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
no. That he's got, what has he got? But he's got a cross or an X on his train conductor hat, like you said. But
Yeah,
I thought it was an iron cross. But now that you slow it down and look at it, it's not. But yeah, I didn't catch that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a stereotypical movie biker patch
yeah.
from Nazi Germany. That is not a very nice thing to be wearing,
No,
to say the
and
least.
and folks, for a little peek behind the curtain, as we discuss, sometimes we'll go back and forth and we'll catch stuff, but we've got the clip. Sometimes we'll have it running in the background, just for reference stuff. And so yeah, so we'll see things every once in a while that we wouldn't normally see the first 30 or 40 times that this thing plays through our discussing the minute.
It's funny about the bikers too. Is like they get a kick out of Clint Eastwood
Swamp
beating
Thing.
that guy up. Yeah,
Yeah.
when he gets taken out for good. Finally, the one guy in the middle starts really laughing, and the other two
Yeah.
are like, yeah, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably the Black Widows, is my guess. That one guy reminds the guy with the unfortunate patch
Yeah.
reminds me of Chula. We're the Black Widows. Fear throughout the land. All he needs is orangutan to right turn him.
Yeah. Well, I think the orangutan just went into the bars.
Yeah.
And then the farmer. Yeah, this looks like a drunk tank, man, because it's like old guys, farmers, bikers. It's like people that have just got locked up for being intoxicated, and then the kid wearing a leather jacket in a
Yeah.
in a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, you're right. Like, yeah, exactly. That kid is definitely in a Letterman jacket and And then like you said, the jail crier, the blonde kid from previous, he was kind of preppy looking, like yuppie,
Yeah,
not yuppie, but like preppy.
yeah,
And so yeah, it's definitely everybody who just had a little too fun that weekend, all being thrown.
yep. Getting locked up. Yeah, the crier reminded me of the blonde kid from Karate Kid.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it. I don't really have much else for this minute. What do you say we come back next time, discuss
Yeah,
the next minute, and find out what's going to happen to Clint Eastwood now that he's got the list of charges thrown his
yeah,
way.
yeah. I think the judge is gonna throw the book at him. No.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I could see that. This movie it's actually a prison movie. It has nothing to do with.
Yeah, the credits roll, like take him off. It's the end of the movie.
Well, all right, Perry. Why don't you try not to urinate on any police vehicles while we record in this minute and the next.
I'm gonna try my best.
Thanks everybody again for joining us for minute 7, and we'll see you next time. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts.